Well, all right, that's the Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing installed. Looking good. Perfect style for this motorcycle. And next I'm going to show you exactly how it goes on. Before even putting the Memphis Shades fairing together, got to take this off. Now that looks simple enough. Let's go around to this side, take a look. We've got here some Allen heads, one on each side, and of course this is going to come off as well. These are Torx bolts here. So I'll get started. These, by the way, are 5/32 Allens, and once you get these off, there should be two rubber grommets underneath, and the rest of it snaps off. I'm going to show you that as well. Now that the fairing is loose, you can see down in here there are little rubber grommets. You just pull this out. And of course this has got to come off, and there are two Torx bolts. I believe those are 27s. We'll pop that off, and here's what it looks like around the front. The Memphis Shades comes with a shell that goes around here as well as a trim ring, and then we've got to take this headlight loose, and that's bolt here and there. Loosen this. We're going to hold on to the stock ones, and that'll allow this headlight to come forward, and there's a bracket that's going to go in here that pushes this forward. That comes from Memphis Shades as well. All right, that was correct. It's Torx 27. Harley loves to use Torx screws or bolts, whatever you want to call them. And this piece comes off. Now it's time to loosen these bolts. There's one on each side. This bracket may or may not have to come off. I know I could get to it easier if I took this bracket off, but if the fairing fits on with this bracket still in place, I'm going to leave it there. It's a 9/16 to get these off, and yeah, you're going to need two of them, one on each side. And you're going to retain this bolt that goes through here because we're going to need it to put it back in once we put the adapter from Memphis Shades on here. All right, the bolt is out. Remember, we're going to be using this again, and the headlight is hanging free. We'll see if it's out of the way. If it's not, I can just unplug it and pull the whole thing out. And of course, later on, we're going to have to adjust this. I realized I've got to take this piece off as well. There's a Torx 27 under here, another one on the other side, and it's a good thing because once I take this off, I could reassemble the standard fairing that was on the bike and have all the parts in one place and box it. All right, now that I've done all the hard work, my son's home, and here's the unboxing of the Memphis fairing for the Low Rider S. People love unboxing on YouTube, so I'm showing it to you.
Some mounting stuff, little Allen key.
And there's the, I think I got, is that the
shield itself?
11 inch? Is that what it says on
11
there?
inch right
11
there.
11-inch windshield.
Cool.
Packaged very nicely. And there's the fairing itself.
Okay. And then one final thing.
There's more?
There's more. The headlight trim ring and shroud kit.
All right. This is the deluxe kit, I think.
The instruction? Oh, yeah.
Instructions. Who needs instructions?
Just thought I'd ask.
Behave yourself. All right, these are the brackets for the fairing. We're going to put this together first. And the first thing we have to do is take these little bolts out, take these little rubber pieces, and they push through the fairing right here. And we found some instructions in there. We glanced, we didn't actually read them, but we just sort of looked at the pictures and glanced through them because we are manly men. We've got a black washer and a lock washer, and it goes into the little plugs that we put in on the outside. So far, couldn't be any easier. And here's the bracket that's going to hold the headlight in. This is the bolt that came with it, and it's going to go like that, facing out. Yep. So that black washer goes on the inside. Then the bracket. Crush washer. And then the nut. And that's 9/16.
I think it'd be easier if we just fish that through. Line it all up. Yep, there we go. All one shot. Get our washer and the OEM nut. Just want to make it to where I can actually, now we can't bend it to tilt. So we're gonna have to adjust this and that.
So when you mount these, this is going to go like this, and this goes on first onto the fork, and then this clamp piece slides right in while it's on the fork, and we'll show you that next. Just let this out a little bit so that it slides right in. There's some clear plastic on the inside of this so it's not going to scratch the forks. And now we put in a piece here, the hex head, tighten that up, snug it up. They should be about 2 inches apart according to the instructions that we didn't read. Now we're almost ready to mount the fairing, but before we do, we're going to put this shroud on there. That's just a plastic piece. And then there's a chrome piece that goes around that. So we've got the shroud on. It's one little Phillips head screw that goes through here. And you need this piece, though it is extra. You need this piece on this motorcycle, on the S, because without it there's no cover here. So if you wanted to run the motorcycle without the fairing for whatever reason, this looks much better like this. So once the shroud is put on and you've got the clamps ready, and if you would focus right over here, you put the windshield on. You want to tighten these by hand. Don't use a screwdriver, you could crack it. Next we're going to take this, and we've lined it up pretty good so far. There's going to be some final adjustments, but you want to get the bottom hooked on, and there's a little give in it. So you hook on the bottom, fits into this little slot, push it forward, and we lock it down. Once we got the bottom on, push it forward, lock it down, and it's all set. Step back over here with the camera. It's kind of tedious now. You want to get it lined up perfectly. You want to make sure you have equal amount of space on both sides. You're probably going to have to adjust the headlight as well, but that's generally what it's going to look like. And you want to make it so that it fits on as easily as possible. If you would come around the back, show the back of it. There are a lot of adjustments. You can adjust it from here up or down. You can adjust the clamps that go around the fork here. It's going to be a little tedious getting it on there and fitting it just the way that you want it, but it should take probably that's the most difficult part. The installation is nothing to it, very straightforward. Just getting it adjusted to look perfect and to go on and off easily. That'll take a little bit of time, but that's really all there is to it, other than taking it for a ride, and that's going to be next. All right, so this is the first ride with the new fairing, and so far we're going 50 miles an hour. I'm getting a wind on my chest, but it's no longer hitting my helmet and moving my head around like before. It was actually at highway speeds a struggle to keep your head from bobbing up and down. That has eliminated just about all the wind to the face area. I'm sure that you know, if you put a wider fairing on this bike, it would block that much more wind, but it would ruin the style of the motorcycle, and that's why I have this bike. I like this particular look of it. And then the question is it worth $550? That's a lot of money, no doubt about that. I thought of going maybe with just a small windshield in front of that little factory fairing that they give you, but of course that'd be a lot less money. Probably not block as much wind, or just taking the factory fairing off and putting a regular windshield that would also block more wind. The full-size windshield would block more wind, I'm guessing, than this, but it just doesn't look right on this type of motorcycle. This will make longer rides much more enjoyable and less fatiguing. Everything went together well. It fits on perfectly. If you like this video, I would hope you give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe. I'll be doing as many in-depth how-to videos as I can, or I think you'd be interested in. So please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, hit that little bell so that when I come out with a new video, you'll be notified. And until next time, this is the Motorman, signing out.